today's mini lesson we're going to look at why we use fitness tests, the difference between sub-maximal and maximal fitness tests, and how we can actually use normative data tables or nomographs when recording data. There's 5 main reasons why a performer or a coach would want to use fitness tests within their training schedule. The first is to identify a performer's strengths and weaknesses in their overall performance. They can analyse the sport they play, look at the most important components of fitness that they require, and then assess using fitness tests whether or not they're suited to a particular position within that sport. Should they find an area for improvement during fitness testing, they can then work on this in training and improve it. Which is linked to our second point, which is fitness tests can aid goal setting. They can look at their test scores and then map out a series of progress points or goals which they want to hit, and then design a training schedule around that so that they improve over time. Which leads into point 3. Fitness test scores and results, they can be used to assess the effectiveness of the training methods and training schedules deployed by the performer or coach. If progress is happening, then obviously the training methods being used are working. If regress or plateauing is occurring, then obviously the training methods need to be looked at, addressed and possibly tweaked so that they can improve in the future. A fourth reason is more for coaches. They can use test scores to compare performers against one another. So if a coach is manager of a large team and they've got 2 or 3 performers competing for one position, they can fitness test everyone and then look at the raw objective data to make a decision as to who's better than who. And lastly, a 5th reason for fitness testing is that it can provide motivation for the performer to continue training if they see their scores progressing over time. When completing fitness tests, we can choose between 2 categories: sub-maximal fitness tests or maximal fitness tests. Sub-maximal fitness tests are when 2 or more performers complete the same activity at the same intensity. How they respond to that activity can then be measured and be used to actually ascertain what their potential physiological capabilities are likely to be. Sub-maximal testing is great because it removes psychological barriers from producing accurate data. A performer doesn't have to work at their 100% maximum intensity in order to get a result predicting their level of fitness. Instead, they can work between their 60 and 85% moderate intensity training zone and then get a predicted score which reduces the risk of injury. This is particularly important for the untrained athlete that's being tested, because if the performer isn't used to working at maximum intensity, suddenly going from rest to their 100% could cause additional or too much strain on their body, causing injury or damage. Maximal fitness testing, however, is when a performer completes an activity to personal exhaustion. This could be in the intensity of the activity, the duration, or their level of fatigue. The benefit of this is that the data or the measures being observed and recorded is raw. It's indicative of their capabilities. They're working to their 100%, therefore whatever they achieve we can say is their 100% capability. Although this removes the need to predict or estimate a performance capability like sub-max testing does, what it does require is access to high quality or very specialist equipment or lab-based conditions which could incur costs or could be very difficult to have access to. Furthermore, the motivation needs to be very high in a performer on the day, and they need to be in peak physical condition in order to actually hit and achieve their 100%. Any tiredness or fatigue or minor injury or drop in motivation could cause them to finishing the activity or the test before they've reached their maximum capability. Regardless of whether we use sub-maximal or maximal testing methods, both categories make use of normative data tables. These are produced after vast quantities of historical data in a fitness test is analysed and it's split into each percentile: the top achievers, the average achievers and the low achievers. These large samples of data are also split into ages and genders. What this means is that if we have a male 18-year-old performer who achieves a 100 kilogram deadlift, they can take that number, compare it to the vast history of data of 18-year-old males also completing the deadlift, and they can see if they are in the top 10%, the next 10%, all the way down to see if they are in fact in that lowest 10% of achievers. This means a performer isn't ever left with just a piece of data or the weight that they lifted. It actually means that they can compare themselves against the general population to see how well they fared. A similar method used to analyse data is the use of nomographs, the purpose of which are to show relationships between quantities and values. They work along 3 parallel lines. The first 2 is where we input data and the third is where we harness a result. For example, when we use nomographing in skin fold testing, the first parallel line is the depth or the width of the skin folds that are being measured. The second column is the age of the subject. So then if we plot those 2 points on the first 2 parallel lines and draw a line through them, the line would then continue over, or it would intersect with the third parallel line, which is the result column, where if you read it off, it would give the performer their likely fat percentage. Like normative data tables, nomographs have been produced by analysing vast quantities of historical data. Thanks for watching. I hope you found that mini lesson useful. If you did, then feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel where you can be kept updated with all the video and content that we're going to bring you. Alternatively, if you want to learn more about our private tuition or teaching and learning resources that we write, then visit us at petutor.com and you can reach out to one of our team. I hope to hear from or see you very soon.